Time once more for a craft. It's been a while, hasn't it? So we're doing a craft for Dia de los Muertos. We are making these. Of course, I better unblur things. You can see my messy kitchen. There. We are making these, which are lanterns. And if you have a black light or you've left them out in sunlight, they will actually glow in the dark. So this is an example of a picture of it glowing in the dark. But this is a black light, so you can see it looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Ooh. So we're using special glow in the dark paint. So let me show you what you're going to need for this. So to do this craft, you are going to need a jar. There's a cap on it too. Okay, but it's a little plastic jar. You will need some templates. They look like this. You will need a permanent marker, possibly some scissors, though probably not. Some paint, probably in teeny little cups. We have orange and purple and blue and green and all kinds of glow in the dark colors. You will need a paintbrush. You might need a little water or a paper towel to clean your brush. So how do we get started? So you can freehand a Calavera mask, a skull mask, onto the outside of your jar. Okay, but I am not that good at drawing calaveras. So you can pick out one of these little skull shapes. There should be several templates there, please. Other people may need it, so don't destroy it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So I'm cutting this off because it just fits into the jar. Yay. So I'm going to put the template on the inside of the jar. I'm going to take my black pen. It's permanent, so don't get it all over yourself, please. And I'm going to draw around this. So you may see some fast forwarding while I draw. I'm following the black lines, but you may put in whatever shapes you want. Okay, those would be good. All right, so I'm going to take out the template. So now you can give that to somebody else. And this is what I have. It's not perfect. It doesn't have to be. And you can add more or add less, however you want to do it. Okay, and now we have put this on the outside. You may want to blow on it a little bit. If you look at it and you don't like it, you can like try and fix it. But remember, permanent marker, a little hard to fix. Mine has wonderfully crooked teeth, deliciously. Yes, this guy needs the orthodontist. If it was bigger, I'd try to give him braces. No. Anyway, so there we go. Now you're going to take your paintbrush and you're going to pick a couple colors of paint. We don't have that much paint. You got to share between everybody. Okay, so you don't need that much paint. A little bit goes a long way. So I have purple and orange. I would say 1 to 2 is probably the most effective. Don't try to paint in like 16 colors. It's probably not going to work well. So I would pick 2 colors that you like. Okay. And I am going to pick purple first. And first I'm going to paint my skull, and then I'm going to paint the inside of the jar. So, and that is however you want to do it. If you want to try and mimic your template, go ahead. But I'm just going to fill it out any which way.
Okay, so I did the purple parts of this, parts that I want in purple. And now instead of changing the color 3 times or twice, I'm going to paint some of the inside of this. Now, first I did straight stripes, now I'm doing diagonal stripes. Ooh, fancy. And you are fine just painting the entire inside of your lantern the same color or any pattern that you want, but it doesn't need a whole lot of paint. It doesn't even look like there's that much on it. So you can see it's practically see-through, but that will actually make it look better later. Okay, so you don't want a whole lot of paint. You don't want it, you want it to be translucent. Okay, you don't want it to be opaque, which means you can't see through it. You want to be able to see through it. You don't need that much paint to do that effectively. In fact, I've even seen people do this where they water the paint down even more. I think this paint is thin enough. You don't need to do that. Okay, but you don't need a ton. And if you mess up, you can take your paper towel and just sort of clean it up. It's on plastic, so it's pretty easy to fix mistakes, which is nice. All right, a little bit more here. All right, so I am finished with my purple, and now I'm going to do some orange. So I'm going to clean my brush. I would say go rinse it out in the sink. And then I like to use a paper towel just to get all the color out. And now I'm going to work with my orange. And I'm going to figure out what parts of this do I want orange. I want orange eyes. I think that would be cool. Oh, and I messed up a little, so I can just take that right off. Haha.
So now I've got my orange and purple Calavera. And I'm going to add some orange to those diagonal stripes that I did. And you don't have to color the whole inside if you wanted to do a shape or something or draw a bunch of pumpkins. It's your jar. I like to stay with the Calavera because it's more accurate for Dia de los Muertos. But this is your jar and it's your artwork. I'm going to need just a teeny bit more. I don't want to use up too much of this stuff, so you guys have it. Because it's not cheap. So don't use a ton. Please share. Thank you. Don't need a ton, just a little. So I like using orange and purple, naranja y morado, because I think those are good colors for Dia de los Muertos. They're also colors for Halloween, funnily enough. And they kind of look cool together. My favorite color, though, is blue. I bet the blue paint looks cool, too. So I'm eager to see some pictures of what your lanterns look like. All right, all done. See, that didn't take long. You can see the swirl on the inside. Okay, so the paint's all on the inside, not the outside, but the drawing is on the outside. So that's it. You can let it dry. I would leave the cap off to let it dry. I use the cap for the paint, but you don't have to. There should be some little cups that you can put the paint in and makes it easier to share with everyone at your table. But once this is done, you can put the lid back on. Okay. And then I left this black light in the supplies. Please be nice to it, but you can see, you can charge up the color with this. A black light actually adds more energy and you can see how cool the colors look. Okay, have fun. Adios.